of the most decorated programs in the nation are coming together. And let me tell you, this environment is electric. We are going to see some incredible swimming over the course of these 2 days. Now welcomed by UVA diving coach Drew Livingston and Texas diving coach Matt Scoggin. We saw some very competitive diving. What are your greatest takeaways?
You know, I've got a lot of new kids on my team, a lot of new athletes. So every meet, I'm learning a little bit more about them. So today for me, it was all about learning about where we're at as a team and as individuals, what they need to do to improve. So there's definitely some good stuff. You know, tough competition though. Texas was awesome. They were probably on their A game today from what it looked like, and that's always going to be tough.
Yeah, I was really pleased with how our team came in, and they were in the moment. They were pretty resilient. They were dealing with different lighting, different atmosphere, and they just kept in the moment, and they were pretty consistent, so I was very pleased.
Now, I know both of you guys have coached against each other at NCAAs, but never on the same pool deck at a dual meet. What is it like? I mean, Matt, you coached Drew to an NCAA championship, and Drew, you dove for Matt. What is this like?
I can't believe he's not on my team, but I'm so happy for him. He's doing a great job at Virginia. He's one of the best coaches in the country, and you know, whenever I sit next to him, I try and learn from him. He's a great coach, and it's really fun to be with Drew on the pool deck. Yeah,
it's you know, it's funny. I have been around Matt at other meets, but it's a lot different in this atmosphere in a dual meet because you're just like right next to each other the whole time. And but it's been awesome. And every time I get to be on the pool deck with Matt, it kind of brings me back, and there's some nostalgia there. And again, you know, he's learned from me. That's news to me. I'm always learning from him. So it's always a great opportunity, and hopefully we'll have more down the road as well.
And Matt, when Drew was a volunteer for you, you told him to stay away from coaching.
Oh yeah, luckily... exactly. He went to go get his MBA, got a UT degree as well. And then I saw him kind of steering toward coaching. I said, stay away from the light, Drew. Don't do it. But he did, and we're very thankful that he did because he is a fantastic coach. We're lucky to have him.
Drew, what was the tipping point to stay with coaching?
Honestly, just the more time I spent around it, the more I started to see myself, not as like Matt per se, but seeing the kind of effect he had on me. It started to sink in that this is going to be a worthwhile career for me. So just honestly, I was around it long enough where it kind of hooked me. And I haven't looked back since.
That former coach and diver bond, you still share it. 2 months ago, you officiated his wedding.
I know. That was a lot of fun to be part of Caroline and Drew's wedding. And then last month, I was at his sister Jessica's induction into the UT Hall of Fame. Then we're here right now in Charlottesville for a dual meet. I'm wondering what I'm doing next month with the Livingston family. Can I come over for Christmas?
Gotta ask my parents.
I was gonna say, is there a Thanksgiving dinner that you know, maybe Matt Scoggin will be involved with?
Well, he's welcome all the time, and he's from Virginia, so this should be like coming home to him in some ways. But yeah, if you're ever in town, let me know.
Okay. It is absolutely a happy homecoming. And Drew, what was it like to have your coach officiate your wedding? You know, the most special day.
Yeah, you know, it was. I'm not gonna say it was awkward asking him because it's not. You know, he officiated my best friend's wedding as well, and I knew he'd do a really good job. But it was actually my mom that kind of pushed me on it. She's like, you know, you should really ask Matt if he wants to do this. And I was like, I don't know, he's a busy man. And surprisingly, he was like, just tell me the date, I'll be there. It was awesome. I'm glad that I was able to share that moment with Caroline, with one of the best people in my life. Yeah, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. Amazing.
And now you both prepare for invitationals, the Texas Diving Invitational and the Tennessee Diving Invitational. What are your preparations heading into that?
This was a great step toward our UT invite. We've got some great teams coming to that competition. That'll be a tough meet, but it'll be a good test for us. And that will prepare us for a even tougher contest at the Nationals.
Yep. And for us, it's all about just trying to build and progress. So we've had a couple dual meets now, so now we've got a good idea about the things that are going right for us and the things that we need to focus maybe a little bit more on. So it's just using the next 2 weeks to kind of progress those things and try to be a little bit better in 2 weeks from now.
Always a pleasure talking to both of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
We'll be right back. Ellen Nelson leading the way for Virginia. The junior comes into the turn. Her walls are so good. She gets off the wall so quickly. Gets a half length underwater before she even comes up for her breath to maintain her speed and her endurance throughout this entire race.
Your impressions of what we've seen her in the early going, though, Natalie?
I mean, Jason, it's amazing. Just starting with those relays, the UVA women get a win, the Texas men get a win. So we're kind of balanced right now. There's a lot of really, really fast swimming, and of course the handful of Olympians are just swimming up to expectations, right? They come back from the Tokyo Games and there's not a drop off at all, right? They just maintain the level of swimming, which is absolutely incredible. Can you talk about starting off with a win in the men's relay? How crucial is it to set the tone with a win in that relay?
Well, we are not allowed to bet in the NCAAs, but I would have bet Virginia would have beaten us in that relay.
Jason, these men swim so fast. We blink an eye and the relay is done. Final turn of this relay. Everyone's on their feet, and it looks like Texas has them by a hair.
And let's talk technique just a moment. You walk through some of the things where he excels. What's the most difficult part of this very unique event in your mind, Natalie?
I would say those walls, those transitions from each stroke, you have to make them quick. Those transitions underwater and trying to breathe less, right? I know that sounds crazy, but the less you can breathe, the faster you can go. So these guys are really trying to make the most of each key turn. Like you saw that flip turn and how fast Carson Foster left the wall. Now he's a whole body length ahead of everyone. You know these coaches, after the success that both of the programs have had, the bar is very high, Jason. I mean, Olympians, NCAA champions. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Still so much swimming left. What do you want to see for the rest of the events this afternoon?
All we talk about is racing or competing and being really good on the last quarter of a race.
Fresh off of the Tokyo Olympics, he just continues his dominance and his momentum. Just such a strong back 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. Jordan just executing his dives, staying consistent throughout the entire men's 1 meter competition. And he secured a new UVA school pool record with a 4:11.15 on the men's 1 meter springboard. Paula Pineda, the senior from Veracruz, Mexico. She is always working so hard, workhorse mentality. Matt Scoggin always says she brings the experience, the calmness during competition to the table. She just shows so much leadership in every aspect. And there's her teammate, Haley Hernandez, the freshman who competed in the Tokyo Olympic Games on the women's 3 meter springboard, just continuing diving excellence on the 3 meter springboard. Her reverse 2.5 somersault tuck was definitely one of her best dives of this competition. So we'll take a look at that finish again. You can see it's so tight, but Emma Sticklin of Texas just out nudges them. Big win for Texas. Jason, I want you to take a look at lane 6 of Virginia. That's Justin Grender, the senior. Todd DeSorbo talked about how he's actually a backstroker, and he's someone who's done so well in butterfly that he's having him compete events in butterfly, which is just amazing, the versatility that you're seeing. She's breathing every other stroke and on both sides, so she's showing that versatility. Trying to check out the whole pool, right? She wants to see where she's at on both sides of the pool. She's maintaining her speed, she's maintaining her kick. This is a long event. You have to pace yourself throughout the entire time. Coach, you mentioned wanting to start off the momentum of the race with a relay win, and you did that on the women's side. What has been so impressive about your women's side so far today?
You know, they just, continue to swim fast all the time, and we prepare to do that.
Your Olympian, your freshman, Emma Wyant, is leading the way right now. What are your takeaways so far in this 1,000 free?
Yeah, I think it's pretty impressive.
Coach, can you touch upon just the atmosphere? It is standing room only in here. How is it to be competing with so many fans and so much excitement again?
It's about 1,000 degrees and loud and hot and wet, but it's the best environment.
The UVA women are definitely looking for a win in this event, and you could see that Kate Douglas really set the tone right off the block. She was the last one to breathe in that first lap of the freestyle. You can see she's about a head length ahead of everyone else as she goes into her second flip turn. And Jason, what I love about the relays is it's a total team effort, right? From start to finish and the sandwich in between. Everyone's got to swim their hardest, swim their fastest. And it's all about the starts and the finishes. So Kate Douglas looking to close in on the first part of the relay. Oh my goodness, what a start. Did you see that, Jason? Almost all the way to the flags. Underwater for Lexi Cuomo. I mean, that is amazing. See her underwaters, how far she goes without breathing. You can see why she's made herself an entire body length ahead of the competition. UVA is showing extreme dominance in this event. It's all about the anchor, right? You got to close 2 more laps of the pool for Alex Walsh. She's going to try and really pour it on in this last 50.
Douglas, Gretchen Walsh, Como, and now you said it. The second year, Alex Walsh, and she's got to hear how much they're loving it inside this building. One more moment for the women's team, at least, to celebrate on this day. Seems on the horizon for Virginia, and they will erupt with the win of the 400 freestyle relay for UVA.
Really fast time, a 3:14.14. That's another pool record. We're just continuing to slash the record. The building is going crazy. Very crucial to secure those points. Both coaches alluded to, you got to get a win, got to start off on the right foot to get the momentum going throughout the rest of the competition.
Boy, you keep an eye on the clock every time this Virginia quartet is in the water.
That's right, final flip turn, Alex Walsh looking to close in and secure the #1 spot here in this relay, which is a crucial start to the competition for Virginia. And they'll finish this race a 3:29.07 for UVA. Like yesterday, the Virginia women secured the relays on their end. How will the men shape up today? Will it be another trend of what we saw yesterday, or will UVA get revenge? Jason, these are 2 of the most decorated programs in the country. You know it's going to be a battle, even if someone has the lead, and that's the most exciting part about these relays is just seeing all the swimmers execute their strokes. You can see UVA is really holding on. Max Edwards, he's trying to keep this lead. That's Danny Kruger sprinting the last lap of the relay. Everyone's going crazy in here because Texas looks like they are going to pass Virginia, and they just did, a 3:09.47. You got to find that balance of you can't sprint it because it's too long, but you also can't go too low-key. You have to find that balance of maintaining your speed throughout the duration of this entire race. We talked about it yesterday and a little bit today, but you have to love the versatility on these rosters. Whether you're a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, a senior, the expectations are all the same for all of these swimmers and divers. Jason, you have to love this lap 15. It's kind of dictating maybe where this race is trending. UVA still maintaining a very strong lead. Emma Wyant in lane 4. You can see she's kicking a little bit harder. She knows that she needs to give it her all this final stretch of this race, but the Texas Longhorns on her side are not gonna let up. Unbelievable. He just finds this energy out of left field, brings it to this race. He knows how important the back half of this race is in shaving time, in getting the win, and getting the points for Texas.
What does a day like this, a weekend like this, do for a program? Yes, Virginia's celebrating already having reached the mountaintop on the women's side, but just overall, the view of Virginia in the landscape of swimming and diving across the country, what does having Texas here do to that?
Oh, I think it only elevates the program even more, and I think this is a testament to UVA's hard work, their training, their recruiting, their endless hard work to attain these goals. And I think once you reach them, you win the NCAA championship, you know you can do it. The bar's been set, so you know you can do this again. And I know Todd DeSorbo said he's not worried about winning NCAAs again or ACCs. He just wants to focus on each meet at a time because he has confidence in his team that they can get it done every step of the way. None of these Olympians that are competing, you haven't seen any sort of a drop-off, right? You come back from the Olympics, You celebrate and you move on, and you put your team gear back on, and you execute for your team. And it's just amazing to see the level of talent and the level of ability and just the level-headedness of putting the Olympic Games behind you and moving on to the collegiate season. It's incredible. She's breathing every other stroke, a beautiful wall, a fast turn. She stays underwater almost as long as everyone else. Continues her breathing pattern into the final wall. She's staying strong on top, just the last lap of the pool. This is so crucial because Texas is challenging her a little bit in lane 3. But Douglas gets it done, a 51.99. They are completely sprinting. And we'll probably see a little bit of separation, a bit more after this turn on the final 50 of the 100 fly, but looking pretty good for Virginia, right, Jason, in lane 6?
Yeah, that separation going to be created by the UVA junior, the third year pulling away here.
And everyone's standing up because Texas is battling him in lane 5. Can he hold on for the finish? Texas out-edges them. Wow, a 47.71. I love the IMs. You just get a little taste of every stroke, and you can really work at every stroke, especially when you're competing the IMs. And it just helps you become a more well-rounded swimmer when you're having to compete all of the strokes and at a fast pace and at a high level. And you can see these ladies are creating some separation here in the backstroke. You can't see your competition, so when you go into this wall, you're gonna kind of peek to see where you're at. Look at that, how she has completely turned this race around and challenging Pash within the flags before they enter the freestyle and the final 2 laps of this race, Jason.
Boy, Pash with the lead now minimal as you see Nelson really close for Virginia.
Unbelievable, this final flip turn, so key, so crucial. Nelson pulls ahead a half a body length. UVA is going crazy on the side. She's entering the flags for the final push of the race, and she'll get it. Sean Conway showing a little bit of separation here in the backstroke. That is absolutely a strength of his, and he's maintaining his speed, his kick. His head is staying so still, you could put a glass of water on it. His techniques are so beautiful, and his underwater, more than half a length of pool, underwater without breathing, maintaining the separation, even though in lane 3, Jake Foster of Texas is starting to challenge him in the breaststroke a little bit. This last lap is crucial. UVA is going crazy. Texas is going crazy. It looks like Foster's a little bit ahead heading into the flags. And this last stretch of the race, and Texas will get it done, a 1:45.66. It just shows the versatility of these ladies being able to do every stroke and at the highest level, throw them into any race, and they can get it done, especially in the women's 100 butterfly. Kate Douglas just shining so bright. She's so focused, she's so confident in this event. And the women's 200 IM as well. Jason, just an incredible performance by Ella Nelson of UVA, a 157.33. Like you said earlier, we're gonna have to get some new boards in here because of all these records that need to come up.